It's time to connect. It's time to celebrate. International Coaching Week, a worldwide celebration and an opportunity to learn, grow, and experience professional coaching. During International Coaching Week, we encourage individuals and organizations all over the world to understand, explore, test, and discover the possibilities coaching provides. Join us for hundreds of events in dozens of languages all over the world.
A todos, sejam muito bem-vindos. Esse é o evento de abertura da Semana Internacional de Coaching, a International Coaching Week, mais essa edição, com mais de 15 eventos realizados pela ICF Brasil, mas como vocês sabem, também acontece simultaneamente em outros aproximadamente 100 países, em mais de 20 idiomas. Meu nome é Camila Bonavito, estou como presidente da ICF Brasil, por essa gestão de 2023-2024. É um prazer enorme, mais uma vez, recebê-los. Muito obrigada pela presença, pela parceria. Para quem não nos conhece ainda, a International Coaching Federation é a maior associação global, presente em mais de 140 países e territórios. Conta hoje com cerca de 60 mil associados ao redor do mundo. Nós existimos com a missão de alavancar a arte e a ciência do coaching, com altos padrões de excelência e ética. Gostaria de agradecer em nome da ICF a presença aqui dos nossos membros, dos nossos associados, dos nossos convidados também, de todos que souberam desse evento, estão aqui hoje, dos líderes regionais que estão aí nos nossos núcleos, na ponta, fazendo toda a conexão com os nossos membros associados, em 8 territórios aqui no Brasil. Quero agradecer à diretoria executiva, o Conselho Deliberativo, e especialmente ao grande comitê organizador dessa linda semana, que teve sob gestão aí a Ana Elisa Mus. Então, agradecer vocês por todo esse trabalho maravilhoso que fizeram para que essa semana fosse possível. Ainda quero agradecer ao nosso patrocinador Gold, IMR Erickson College, e o nosso patrocinador Silver, Institute for Generative Leadership. Antes de apresentar a nossa convidada super especial, eu quero dar alguns recados. Esse evento está sendo gravado e nós vamos subir, então, na nossa página do YouTube, você vai poder rever esse evento e também compartilhar na sua rede. Esse evento concede créditos de educação continuada em RD, em recursos de desenvolvimento. Esse certificado é emitido diretamente pela ICF lá fora, e a solicitação desse certificado deve ser feita preenchendo um formulário, um link de um formulário que nós vamos colocar no chat no final do evento. Então, peço que vocês usem esse canal, que vai ser a única forma da gente conseguir fazer esse link com a ICF lá fora, para que vocês recebam o certificado, então. Esse evento tem tradução simultânea. A partir de agora, a gente vai começar a falar em inglês. If you are an English speaker, go to the interpretation icon at the bottom right of your screen and choose English while I'm speaking Portuguese in the opening and the closing of this event. Otherwise, you're going to be listening in English most of the time. E se você fala português, você deixa, então, no canal português. Nós colocamos também uma mensagem no chat dando essas instruções. You're going to find message in the chat about these instructions. Muito bem, então, vou finalmente aqui apresentar a nossa convidada especial, Ana Galotti. Ana é atual presidente da ICF Tought Leadership Institute, que é uma das nossas 5 famílias da ICF. Ana é Master Certified Coach pela ICF. Ela tem 20 anos de experiência como coach de executivos e equipes. É consultora organizacional e facilitadora de processos de mudança. Trabalha com grandes grupos para alavancar a inteligência coletiva. Ana é colaboradora da Forbes desde 2022, possui 3 livros publicados e mestrado em Direito Europeu. Atualmente, Ana dirige empresas na Europa e nos Estados Unidos, como a Group Coaching Institute, o que não poderia ser diferente, né, de uma pessoa como Ana, que originalmente viveu os seus 25 primeiros anos em Milão, já morou também 20 anos em Paris e atualmente reside em Nova York, desde 2013. Então, sem dúvida nenhuma, uma colega internacional hoje aqui. Ana vai falar por 30, 40 minutos e depois disso a gente vai abrir para perguntas que você pode colocar no chat e vamos mediar aí, vamos tentar responder todas, se possível. Ana discutirá sobre 3 pontos principais. Ela vai contar mais sobre o que é, então, o Thought Leadership Institute. Ela vai falar sobre a mais recente pesquisa sobre o futuro do coaching e também vai contar um pouco para a gente sobre o coaching e inteligência artificial. Muito bem, então, sem mais delongas, porque vocês não estão aqui para ouvir a Camila, e sim para ouvir a Ana, eu vou passar para Ana Galotti. Ana, obrigada por aceitar o nosso convite. The floor is yours. O palco é seu.
Thank you very much. I'm very honored to opening this coaching week. And I see that there are people all around the world and also from Brazil. And yes, I'm going to introduce our Tought Leadership Institute and then give you some hint and some information about the last research. So in the Tought Leadership Institute, we are exploring the future of coaching. And wait a second, I need to... so today we're talking about the future of coaching and, if there is time, the future of planetary ecology. So we answer to the question in our board, what role could coaching have in contributing to the futures of work, education, and planetary ecology? Who are we? So we are the global hub for leading edge thinking on the impact of coaching, promoting societal well-being and human development. So we have research and then we disseminate this research with the objective to influence leaders and stakeholders to promoting this societal well-being and human development. Our mission is to influence coaching professionals and global readers on how coaching contributes to the best possible futures of work, education, and planetary ecology. We are the newest family organization in ICF. There are 6 families organizations, and we are the ones giving insights and doing research, as I said, in to shape the future. Our audience are professional coaches, global leaders across disciplines, and the wellness community. And we want to influence them to create the best possible future. I invite you to explore our global digital library. It is there is a possibility to translate it in Portuguese with Google Translator. So we have 4 pillars of action: the future of coaching, the future of work, the future of education, and the future of planetary ecology. We will start and we will give the most of the time to the future of coaching. Concerning the future of coaching, our objective is to collaborate with scholars and experienced practitioners. And then we want to inspire and sponsor rigorous studies through research. And we spread the discovery and our excitement about topics explored in the research and collaboration activities. So I'm here to disseminate a part of our research. We gathered 9 speakers, 35 coaching scholars, experts in the topic, and we produced 6 hours of full-length video that you will find in the Global Digital Library, more than 30 articles, and we have a journal article published in a scientific journal, which is the grand challenge for research on the future of coaching, published in the Journal of Applied Behavioral Science. And here you can find the state of the art of the research on the future of coaching, and also the future research that is going to happen right now, which will be published in a second moment when it will be done. What are the research results to date? So here I'm going to showcase the results, and of course, you as coaches, you know the results of coaching because you experience them through your experience with coaching, and intuitively also you know all of them. But the difference here with our work is that we can prove them scientifically with I hear another voice. Can you put yourself in mute, please, so that we, okay. So with a scientific methods, so here when you sell coaching, you can say these results have been proven scientifically. So one result is the client satisfaction with and the coach satisfaction as well through the alliance between the coach and the coachee. The client's intention to act and achieve specific goals thanks to coaching, a greater sense of well-being, a more substantial and coherent personal vision on one's ideal future, a wide range of health outcomes, and a potential behavioral change. Now we are going to dig into the measure of coaching outcomes. And you see here as well, you can give your client the proof, the scientific proof that coaching produces cognitive changes, self-efficacy, well-being, engagement, satisfaction, individual, team, and organizational increased performance. But let's see a bit deeper what are the measures and the criteria who has been used to highlight these coaching benefits. Dr. Van Oosten says that it's very difficult and impossible to define the ROI of coaching. Why so? Because it's difficult to measure, for example, for a salesperson, the increased sales, which are directly coming from the coaching. Of course, because there are also other factors, for example, the organization of the company or the network of the coachee, etc., which are other factors. And so it's difficult to measure what is the direct effect of coaching. And also, for example, if there is a save of money, difficult as well to know what is the direct influence of coaching on these factors. And also it's going to be very difficult to measure it across organizations because they should use the exact same criteria. And therefore, Dr. de Haan says we need to go beyond the ROI. And we need to measure the effect that coaching would have more widely on the organization, on the network of the organization, on the boss, on the team, on the peers of the coachee. Dr. Helen also measured the effect of coaching by measuring 3 coaching sessions, and she interviewed the coachee before the coaching sessions, then right after the coaching sessions, and then 1 year after. And even 1 year after, these are the benefits of coaching, the one you see in the slides. And then there is research of Richard Boyatzis, who has been member of our board. He's a very known scholar in the field of coaching. And he developed this theory of intentional change. And he proved that coaching harnessed the power of positive emotions, but he says it can trigger these positive emotions if the coaching focuses on dreams, not just goals. And he said that there are two kinds of coachings: the coaching for compassion and the coaching for compliance. And this coaching of compassion can be thanks to resonant coaching relationships. What is it, the coaching for compassion? It triggers the positive emotional attractors, which are the ones who are based on dreams, on the ideal self of the coachee, and they activate the parasympathetic system, which triggers positive emotions, well-being, resilience, and reduces anxiety. These positive attractive emotional attractives are triggered when the coachee focuses to the future, focuses on dreams. And here you see that the alliance of the coach is very important. On the opposite, the coaching of compliance triggers the negative emotional attractors. For example, when the objectives are given by the company. And the negative emotional attractors, they trigger negative emotions, anxiety, a narrow vision of themselves, and also triggers an external motivation. Whereas the positive emotional attractors, they trigger the internal motivations, meaning that the coachee wants by himself or herself to achieve the objectives. There is what is important, actually, Richard says, is that there is an alternance between the cycles of positive emotional attractors and negative emotional attractors. In our life, actually, we feel this alternance of the two. For example, when we experience setbacks, when we experience negative feedback, but thanks to the activation to the positive emotional attractors, we have this resilience, which allows us to trigger the positive emotional attractors and become resilient and overcome these setbacks. So we learn from adversity. And then Angela Passarelli, she studied through functional MRI the area of the brain which are activated when there are the positive emotional attractors or the negative emotional attractors. And she says that there is a neurological responses in the coachee, and we can also trigger these positive emotional attractors to a work on the body, relaxation, mindfulness, respiration, and these are the invisible dynamics on which we can work as coaches. On another matter, Dr. de Haan studied the key moments in the conversation. The key moments are the one where there is a sort of the aha moment in coaching, where there are new discoveries and an increased self-awareness. And he detected 86 key moments, which happen in a span of 2 from 8 seconds. And then he clustered them for these 4 elements: the moments of learning, the moments of relation change, the moments of meaningful action, and the moments of emotional experience. And then he studied I would say, what story the coach and the coachee tell about these key moments. And he discovered that they tell this more or less the same story, meaning that each of them separately, they experience during the coaching session the same key moments. And so there is a great consistency. And then he also studied the experience of coaching in the coach. So how the coach experiences coaching. And he found a quite surprising perception is that the coaches often underestimate their impact on their work, even seasonal coaches. And they develop this imposter syndrome, which is when we ask ourselves, can I make it? Am enough knowledgeable to run this coaching session? Will it provoke change in the coachee? Who am I to coach this coachee, which is who is more competent than myself, etc. And we also the professional of health, like psychologists, they develop this imposter syndrome, and it's called the Rashomon effect. And when this imposter syndrome can generate mental fatigue, and at the end also burnout. So we need really to be careful about it. On the other side, John Kim and Noël Cordeau say that we can overcome this syndrome with supervision, mentoring, peer discussions. So the importance that of these actions that we can lead as coaches. And I really invite you to share your burdens and your doubts with other people. It creates well-being and also increases your effectiveness as a coach. Also, there is a bright side of the imposter syndrome, is that it generates empathy and support for the clients, because the coach develops the vulnerability with themselves, but also they can share experiences with their clients. And they generate also the vulnerability of the client, which gives opportunities for growth. So I ask you a question that you can answer in the chat. Do you experience this imposter syndrome? I personally experience it, even if I'm a master certified coach. Sometimes when the client is super smart, for example, or sometimes when I see that there are no progresses, I tell myself, or I ask myself, oh my God, how can I make it? Am I useful, etc. So I invite you to answer to the question if you want. If you experience it, I try to put I see some yes. Thank you. Welcome to the club with me. There is one who says not anymore, lucky you. That's good. Maybe you share your experiences with other coaches. Yes, I see a lot of yeses. Thank you for answering to this poll. You can continue while I'm moving on. Wait, okay. Then Dr. Atanasopoulou studied the gender disparities in coaching. She says that study is proof that women hold only 31% of leadership positions, which is not much compared to men. And even if women's representation in leadership position is on the rise, there is much to do on this side, and also it's difficult for women to have what we call a systemic support. For example, a woman often is the only woman in the room. which means that she has little voice, also because men have louder voice, but also because a woman can be intimidated by the presence of men. For example, their ideas are less listened. And so this provokes discouragement, of course, and then also stress, but a lot of questions as well. So women ask themselves, am I up to the task? So am I the right leader? And they have questions about the leader they want to be. And the pandemic also increased this stress, also because women, they have less support at home, so difficulties to balance their personal life with their professional life. So all these, I would say, diminished support generates a lower impact of coaching than to white men, for example, and also minorities experience the same effect. But on the other side, coaching helps very much women to find the ideal self, their leadership style, to reduce stress, and so it's very effective, but not as much than with white men, for example. Dr. Atanassopoulos is researching if coaching has to have a specific process, a specific way of doing coaching for women, and she's studying these right now. Now I want to introduce to you the coaching and AI, which is a very hot topic. It is something we discuss a lot in the International Coaching Federations, among, of course, our board, which is at the top of the research, but also within the whole community of ICF. What is AI? It refers to machines that can do tasks requiring intelligence when performed by human. There are three types of AI. The first one is narrow intelligence, which is the one who can perform very specific tasks. For example, when you go on a merchant website, there is a chatbot which appears on the screen and says, "How can I help you?" This is the narrow artificial intelligence. For example, the tools for the self-driving cars, for example. And then we have the artificial general intelligence, which can reproduce the human intelligence. And then we have the artificial superintelligence, which outperform human intelligence. Fortunately, for the moment, the artificial general intelligence and the artificial superintelligence have not yet been developed. So in coaching and in the AI coaching, we have only the artificial narrow intelligence, which can perform very specific tasks and is skilled to support the coachee in the goal attainment. We're going to see a bit closer what is it. Coaching can be, AI coaching can be defined as machine-assisted systematic process to help clients set professional goals and construct solutions to achieve them efficiently. This way of doing coaching is also very much used in promoting well-being in the healthcare professionals. And it has been studied that it helps to reduce symptoms of depression and anxiety. I mean, surprisingly, the coaching effect of AI has been much more studied in psychology than in coaching. In coaching, we have 2 studies. So let's see how the research of coaching and AI. But first, I want to ask you, what do you think? Is AI coaching a friend or a foe? And you can answer in the chat, which is a hot question we are asking ourselves. I see a lot of friends. I'm happy to see this. Depends, friend. Okay, so a lot of you think that it is a friend, some that it is a foe. So let's see a bit more in detail the research. So human coaching versus AI. First of all, coaching AI functions well when the goals are clearly defined, and it helps to the goal attainment, meaning the action plan. And so it has been studied. Is this AI coaching as effective as the human coaching in these specific tasks? The question is, yes, it is as effective of the human coaching. But also it is much less effective on other tasks that we perform in coaching. Why is it as effective as human coaching? Because the AI coach follow up the action plan with a specific process and with a systematic process. And also it is available 24 hours 7, so all the time. And it also helps the coachee to define clear objectives. For example, the feasibility of the objectives. Is this objective important for the coachee? Is the coachee defining achievable actions? All this can be done by the AI coach. There are, let's see the coach maturity and how AI coaching can can replace some of these level of coach maturity. So first of all, there is the model-based coach, which basically is the very novice coach, which strictly applies, I would say, a script with very standardized questions. So it doesn't go deeper into the questions which, for example, trigger the self-awareness of the coachee, or goes, I would say, deeper in his personality, the doubts of the coachee, etc. Then there is the process-based coaching, which go a bit deeper into the mindset of the coachee, but nevertheless, it applied a strict process. But the questions, for example, are not anymore standardized. Then there is the philosophy-based coach, which really help the coachee to have self-reflection, self-awareness, change of mindset, so goes much more in the nuances of coaching. And then we have the systemic eclectic coach, which also analyzes the context of the coachee. What happens around the coachee? What are the effect of the coachee's action in their context, in their environment? And as you can see, and as I said, the model-based coach can be replaced by the machine. Therefore, the necessity of us as coaches to develop our humanity and our skills with our sensitivity and the nuances we can put in the coaching. What is at stake? There are ethical issues about the AI coaching. For example, is this objective ethically accepted? So an AI coach cannot distinguish, for example, an objective which is about harass a colleague at work. If a student wants to cheat in an exam, and whereas the human coach can say, no, these are not ethical acceptable objectives, so we need to find others. Then the AI coach has a lot of bias, because we need to think that how does it function? Basically, they have a lot of data of tons of coaching sessions, and then they use the data they already have. And this data, they are biased because, for example, coaching now is a construct of our Western cultures. It has been, I would say, created basically by European cultures and American cultures. And what about the representation of other cultures, of minorities, of women in this data? So you can see that we need to be careful about the AI coach. And then also can create dependency. The AI coach is available 24/7, and the coachee may be tempted to use it extensively, and therefore they don't develop the autonomy in the in the objective attainment. So you can see that also this is a threat of the AI coaching. And finally, the privacy. All these data that are gathered by AI coaching, where are they going? How are they going to be used? There are legislations like in Europe or some states of the US, for example, that they protect data, but a lot of countries do not protect data. So what's the added value of human coaches? First of all, human coaches can detect the nuances of our coachee. What is their intention? What they didn't say, they're not saying, what is behind. And you know, as coaches, you can experience that the objective of the coaching, as stated, for example, by the company, are very, I would say, are behavioral objectives, and they stay at the surface. And they are also present oriented. So what do you need to do now to change? And when you go deeper in the coaching session, we can discover other kinds of objectives which are linked to the identity of the coach. What is the leader I want to be? Who am I? So all these, I would say, existential objectives, and the work on this objective can greatly help in a change of behavior. Then, of course, we can detect ethical or non-ethical objectives, but also the AI coach is not capable to detect, for example, psychological problems of the coachee, and therefore refer to a psychologist, as we can do as coaches, and also cannot detect the setbacks that the coachee can have, and cannot go deeper into the setbacks. For example, when the coachee has a toxic boss or receives a very negative feedback, etc. So the question is, are we be replaced by AI? And actually, the response is not, as I said. The opportunities are the democratization of coaching. For example, in Africa, out of the 60,000 members of ICF, there are only like 2,000 coaches for a growing population. So thanks to AI coaching, we can have scalability, economic accessibility. An average price of a coaching session is $100, and you can see that a lot of large part of the population cannot access coaching. Also can be done to marginalized groups, for example, or can be used in education. For example, for helping students to succeed in their exams. But as I said, the AI coaching cannot go into the who of the client. And we can use coaching, AI coaching as augmented coaching, meaning that as coaches, we can support the coachee to detect their objectives, their underlying objectives, to overcome difficulties. And then we can have on the side the AI coach supporting us in the goal attainment. So let's see if I have a bit of time. Just I give you an overview of the future of planetary ecology, which is at the other pillar. We research on the Tought Leadership Institute. So the idea and the objective of our studies is to demonstrate that coaching can generate a systemic view where individual, planet, and society and well-being are seen as interconnected. So we can enlarge the vision of the coachee to the effect of the planetary ecology on well-being and on the planet. And we can ignite the desire for co-creating sustainable actions. How? By identify core values, a long-term and triggering a long-term vision, increase responsibility, identify steps and resources, and holding the coachee accountable. And here you will see a lot of resources that you can use, and you can go to their website about how coaching can influence the planetary ecology. And lastly, I invite you to join our effort and to go to our global digital library to explore all the articles we produced about the future of work, future of coaching, future of education, and future of planetary ecology. And you can have them translated into Portuguese, Brazilian Portuguese with Google Translate. So I thank you very much for being here with me. And now we can open to the Q&A. And I stopped the share screening. Okay.
Obrigada, Ana. Muito obrigada. Imagina o desafio em 40 minutos de você dar toda essa quantidade de temáticas possíveis para a gente explorar. Foi muito bom a gente ter uma visão desse todo, sem dúvida nenhuma, indo para o site da ICF, você consegue aprofundar no tema que mais chamou a atenção. Eu estou muito instigada aqui com muitas coisas, mas me parece que o público ficou mais alerta à questão de inteligência artificial, e nós temos aqui algumas perguntas que eu entendo que são perguntas de esclarecimento e checagem, né? Então, a primeira pergunta aqui do João Melo. Então, aí é um amigo, quando a gente tem... E é muito curioso, porque eu estou falando português, e ele escreveu em inglês. So, AI is a friend of action coaching, first level of learning. But it's not enough to transformational coaching, second level of learning, isn't it? It's just like checking the understanding.
I confirm, because it doesn't provoke transformation, it just supports the coachee to implement an action plan. So once we have generated the transformation with our human coaching, we can then follow up the behavioral aspects of this internal transformation with an action plan.
Uhum. Obrigada. Acho que vai em linha também com o comentário, pergunta de esclarecimento da Juliana. Então, a inteligência artificial não deveria ser apenas um apoio à desburocratização de ferramentas e processos de coaching. É um comentário também. Acho que me parece que já está respondido. E uma outra pergunta, não sei se você tem informação sobre isso, Ana, mas como a ICF está pensando em atualizar, rever seu código de ética à luz da inteligência artificial, desse movimento emergente?
So in July, we have the gathering of all the staff and all the board members of ICF. And this is there we're going to discuss about ethics and AI coaching. It is a long run work because the questions are not so simple, and we also need to think about the future, not only about the present. Because, for example, if we change the code of ethics now, it can become obsolete in, I don't know, 2, 3, 5 years. So we're going to deeply discuss about these questions and see how can we adapt the code of ethics.
Perfeito. Tem uma pergunta aqui, eu vou passar para você, Ana, mas a gente já tem uma resposta, porque acabamos de publicar o Coaching Study 2023, mas a pergunta é se existe uma pesquisa da ICF, onde temos os percentuais da participação de mulheres no mercado de coaching comparativamente à participação dos homens.
Yes, it's around 70% of...
Isso, temos uma pesquisa recém-lançada, inclusive vamos fazer um evento exclusivo para os nossos membros associados em breve, e essa é uma média global, 72% de mulheres no mercado de coaching. A média da América Latina está em torno de 65%, está um pouquinho abaixo.
And also Dr. Athanasopoulos is also studying why men and women choose a man or woman coach, and if women and men coaches coach differently.
Uhum. Perfeito, fiquei muito interessada nesse estudo, talvez uma das primeiras coisas que eu vou procurar aprofundar nesse sentido. E acho que vai de encontro com a pergunta aqui da Luciana, não? Are there any developments in terms of how to better coach women so as to support their growth given the context mentioned? Luciana, sugiro a gente montar um grupo para discutir e aprofundar mais isso. Não sei se a Ana gostaria também de comentar algo além.
I need the translation because I heard only the Portuguese of this question.
So if you just leave in the original audio, but I repeat that, but I think it's a little bit about around you've just said the studies around women coaching and the difference on how we can. So Luciana, let's study that further and go for this study.
Yeah, I think it will be published in 1 or 2 years because scientific studies, they need time. Why? Because they need to interview a lot of people. They need to have a consistent panel, and then it needs to be published and verified. That's why it takes time.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So Paulo has another question here. Yuval Harari, the famous book writer, says that AI is the future, will be to hack not only computers, bank accounts, cell phones, but also the human being from the inside. What we think, what we feel, etc. How do you see it impacting coaching?
Actually, now we know that AI coach can be a friend because, as I said, it follows up the action plan. Nevertheless, we don't know the exact evolution of AI. If one day we will have the general AI, which replaces or imitates the human intelligence. We hope not. I read an article where it says that a lot of AI researchers they decided to stop the research on AI because they see the danger of it. If we are going to be replaced, can you imagine the effects of unemployment? And this is the first time where the white collar professions are as ours is is a threat for us. So you see that there is in the market, there is a discussion about do we need to proceed and move on about this research because of also the ethical questions. But even if it is developed, I think it will take, no, it's not that I think, it will take time, but we don't know if this will happen or not.
Thank you, Anna. And just the last question before we finish. Apart from, it's from Sonia, I hope I pronounced it correctly, Sonia. Apart from AI, what are some key challenges to coaching in the coming decade? And how can we prepare ourselves to address them?
So the challenges for me is linked to the environment of the coachee. So the changes are faster and faster if you coach in organizations, but also if you coach individuals. The world is more and more divided. The technology also to support professionals is more and more developed. So this creates a lot of anxiety. So never in time there has been so much anxiety. So we need to work on our own anxiety if we have one, if we experience it, but also on at the same time on the anxiety of the coachee. So this mirror effect is difficult for us to manage. And I think we need to have support and we need to seek for support to overcome our own anxiety. For example, the ecological anxiety, it's going to be developed. Students develop anxiety because the world is becoming more and more competitive. So I think we need this adaptation for us is going to be challenging.
Ana, eu quero agradecer muito, gostaria de continuar essa conversa, acho que temos tantas coisas aqui para aprofundar, espero que você retorne aos eventos aqui promovidos pela ICF Brasil, foi um prazer conhecê-la, muito conteúdo e muita generosidade também e simpatia conosco de estar aqui. Então, quero agradecer mais uma vez a sua presença, quero agradecer a presença de todos, as perguntas, sei que tem muitas coisas aí que talvez a gente não deu conta de endereçar, mas essa era a ideia, né? Chacoalhar um pouco a gente e trazer insights aí. Convido todos a continuarem participando dos eventos, esse foi só o primeiro de uma semana de 15 eventos. Hoje temos um evento às 13h30, com Caritas Ribas, e temos mais um evento de fechamento do dia com Carlos Assis. Vocês podem aí verificar os links no chat para os próximos eventos e como se inscrever, e também em como pedir o seu certificado de Resource Development, temos aí o formulário também. Nesse formulário também você pode dar o seu depoimento sobre como foi essa sessão, gravar um vídeo, e esse vídeo vai ser usado nas nossas mídias sociais. A gente quer muito ouvir a opinião de vocês, para continuar melhorando aqui os nossos processos, as nossas escolhas. Então, nos ajudem com isso também, deem sua opinião. E nós nos vemos aí nos próximos eventos. Muito obrigada mais uma vez pela participação. Ana, thank you so much. Grazie mille. Foi um grande prazer tê-la aqui com a gente.
Thank you very much. It has been a real pleasure, and I'm really honored to be here with you.
Thank you all. Obrigada a todos. Nos vemos mais tarde.
Bye.
Bye bye.